So at this point, you've probably seen or maybe been spoiled for Daredevil Born Again, the entire show. But here specifically, we're going to be talking about Daredevil Born Again, episode 9. So certain things happen, and spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the finale of Daredevil Born Again season 1, I would click off now. But they do say something that is really interesting, and Entertainment Weekly did an interview, I believe, with the director or showrunner. I'm not 100% sure, but there is a certain scene after the Punisher gets taken and goes to the Red Hook area where Fisk is having all of his plans, kind of all of his operations be taking place in, and Matt and Karen go there to kind of take him out. But Matt kind of has this heart to heart with Karen, and they decide certain things. There is a small detail where there is, at a point, you could hear Tom Holland's Spider-Man theme play during the finale, and this is, I believe, is right before he says that he's gonna need a team. So really interesting, and they actually talk about this in the interview, so we're gonna go through it. There was a very small detail. The score seemed to hint at Spider-Man's theme music at one point in the finale. The Newton brothers seemed to acknowledge that on social media, but ultimately they deleted their post. Is that one of their Easter eggs you're talking about? I don't really know. That's the best way of putting that. Marvel doesn't always share their plans with me, so that theme being part of our story took me a little bit by surprise when I saw the posts on it. And how I can answer this question, honestly, I don't know what's in store with that particular character. Well, Matt showed up in the Spider-Man movie, so is it far-fetched for Spider-Man to show up in Daredevil? It's funny though, because this is part of working in something as large as the MCU. We have our little corner that is Hell's Kitchen, and it is kind of the downtown from Avengers Tower. We kind of stay in our neighborhood until someone says, hey, what about ... When people on High or people on other shows or people in other movies are interested in the world, we'll get like a, what do you think of? And I haven't gotten any of that on Spider-Man yet. Now, that's pretty much all they said about it. So they weren't even, they didn't even know that was happening, that was going to happen. It seems they directed everything, they did everything post-production, and then finally Marvel, put that in themselves. But the whole reason I believe that Spider-Man can't and hasn't appeared is the whole deal with Sony, that he can't appear in shows or certain things. I'm sure there's a way around it in some way or whatever, but at that moment he's not allowed to appear in the show. So that would make sense why he's not there. The memes have come out, Spider-Man's a fraud, that he is not coming out to protect the city. A whole blackout, and Spider-Man's nowhere to be seen. Like other characters too, Hawkeye, Captain America, Moon Knight, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and so on. There's so many different characters that are based in New York City that should show up, but obviously they didn't. But it's really interesting. Could we see something potentially in the future? Maybe Marvel's working out some deal with Sony to have Spider-Man appear in some way. Maybe it'll take place in a movie. Maybe it will set up something in Spider-Man Brand New Day. I don't know. This is interesting, and obviously it's intentional to put that in there. Just at what point? Let me know what you think of this down below.